morning, everybody. This is Jerry, and you're watching 3D HP. I've done another video for Yousu resin. Their iForm 182 is an ABS-like wet resin. This is white that I've got here. This bottle is currently empty because I've already printed with it. Comes in a pretty standard round box. And I'll show you here in a minute my full process. I've got some time lapses to show you. I wanted to print a large Mandalorian model that I had bought over a year ago, and it was on one of my flash drives or one of my computers. I searched for hours trying to find the file. I eventually stumbled across it, and it's a Mandalorian with a little baby Yoda that's kind of in his little cart hovering alongside of him. And I bought that off a Special STLs group like a year ago, a little over a year ago, and it took me forever to find it. And I finally printed it, and one thing about the Yousu white resin, it does have odor. I did have a noticeable odor once I poured it in my vat. So, like always, I have a Winix air purifier sits on the floor that helps to alleviate any kind of odor problems that I have in the room, my resin room. It helps a little bit, but it did have a noticeable odor. It pours like white milk, basically, and this big bottle, 1,000 grams, was not enough resin to finish my project. So I had to grab a little bit of the red wax that I had left over from the prior video and dump that in. Then when I got down to the nitty-gritty at the very end of finishing all the parts, I wound up having to use some of my Focus Gray resin to dump in it to be able to complete the project that I was working on, because you don't want to run your vat dry, obviously. You know, you might have a failed print or be missing part of it, and you have to start over again. But here, let me show you what I've done here, and I'll go on to show you the time lapses and what got me there. But here's a Mandalorian model right here. And like I say, it came off Special STLs, and the brand name on it says Pop Totem. Pop Totem STL and something, I can't read the other word. Collections, STL and Collections, it says Pop Totem, P-O-P Totem. And the base was printed in 3 pieces, it was all hollowed out. Whenever I hollow any of my models, I go 2 millimeters thick, and then I put 5 millimeter drain holes in them. And the reason I usually go 5 millimeters and not 4 millimeters is I have a little probe, which I'll show you here in a minute, that I can stick inside of the model to help cure it from the inside. But yeah, it came out pretty good. None of the joints where you put the model together at, none of those parts worked for me. I had to take my little blue nippers and cut all of them off. I couldn't get any of them to properly fit in place. And I don't know why that happened, but other than that, the model came out really good. I just had and one of his legs, I need a little bit of putty work in one of his legs. I couldn't get it to line up properly. So, and then the seam where I put the 3 pieces together, as you can see, I'm either going to fill them with resin before I prime it, or I will use putty. But more than likely, I'll use resin. So I need to, and then any holes that I put in the parts, I'll have to go back and I'll fill those with resin. And the best way I've found to do that is I take a Q-tip, take a little bit of resin on a Q-tip, and I dab it in the hole. It quickly seals it, and then I take my UV flashlight, which I have right here, and then I will cure that. And works really well. And then if it's still concave, then I put another drop of resin on it, and I cure it, and then I kind of build it up. Once I'm completely done, I'll take one of my sanding sticks here. These are nail files. You can buy on Amazon, Walmart, anywhere. And I'll sand the spot down perfectly smooth. That way you don't see where the hole was originally. And you can also get on Amazon.com and buy what they call sanding twigs. They're kind of like this type of material. There's different grits, and they're paper thin. They're like little toothpicks. And those will get in little tiny little spots. I love the sanding sticks. I use them quite a bit also. But kind of getting a look here and kind of see how we're doing. And as far as for this post, yeah, I could have done it in clear resin, didn't have any. So I'm just going to paint this to match the ground once I paint this model. But, it came out looking really nice. It took like 1,300 grams of resin probably to complete this. And everything that could be hollowed is hollowed. Anything real tiny like his gun or his rifle, that would be solid, obviously. You can't hollow something that small. But it came out really good. I'm very pleased with it. It's all glued together, so now I just have to go around, putty everything up on it, and then I can prime it, and then at some point start painting it. But, I'm pleased with the model, but none of the joints work for me. Now, I don't know how many other people out there have already printed this model in the past in FDM, but I couldn't get none of the joints would work on it. So, That ain't the word I wanted to use, but that's the only one I can think of at the moment. But anyway, yeah, I just woke up a little bit ago. I'm kind of tired. And that's a jet overhead if you hear all that noise. But like I say, the model came out really cool. And I've got a time lapse of all of this going on. Me stripping the supports off of it and everything. But yeah, the white did print really nice. Didn't have any issues with the white resin, other than it did have a little bit of an odor, where the red wax didn't have any noticeable odor. Of course, everything has an odor. Any kind of resin you breathe isn't good for you, and you shouldn't breathe the fumes. But there was a noticeable odor from the white that I did notice. So, you know, I had to run my air purifier. So, and whenever you're working with any kind of resin, always wear your proper PPE, personal protective equipment, gloves, safety glasses. You know, wear a mask if you think you need to, and you know, good air filtration or in a really well ventilated area. But yeah. Came out pretty cool. So, and I think this creature over here is called a Jaja. I don't remember. Then there's a head of one glued here on the side. I don't really care if it's half a head here. I might take that back off. But there's a little creature down here in the front running around. But yeah, pretty cool model. So, not sure what I'll do with it. You know, hopefully get it painted up and throw it up on my shelf for people to check out. But, and I can show you their website here like I did on the last video. I'll show you where you can buy the Yousu resin, I-Form 182, the ABS-like resin. I'll pull that up on the screen. And the model came from the Special STL group over on Facebook. It's $ Special STL is, I believe, the name of the group, where different designers and stuff that have been vetted, where they get approved by the admins, and they sell different models on there. And I bought this from like a year ago. But I hope you like watching time lapses, and I appreciate it, guys. And while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's free. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to slowly grow my YouTube channel, and it's slowly getting there. It's just taking me, you know, longer than I figured. I've been putting up videos for years now on YouTube, and it is what it is. It takes time. And I started doing all my live streams over on Twitch, so you can check me out at Jerry3DHP over on Twitch. I'm doing a lot of live streams over there, my weekly hangouts. You know. Now we're going to try out Yousu's I-Form 182 ABS-like resin. This is their white 1,000-gram bottle. Be sure you shake it up really good. This time I found a Mandalorian file. I'm not sure which one it is. It's been on my PC for about a year. Looks like I bought it or got it last January. I'm not really sure where I got it from. I'll have to figure that out during this video. But we're going to print that up in resin. And I'll have to... I got a bunch of parts loaded right now on the SD card. And then I have 3 different parts of the base I'll have to print after that. And we'll take off the cap. Looks milky white. Let's see what we got here. Looks white like milk. I'm going to take it up to the max fill line. Do not go over it. Because God forbid you filled it up too much. And your build plate came down, and when it went down in the resin, then it overflowed the sides and ran everywhere. You don't want to do that. That wouldn't be good. And these large bottles will fill up that vat twice in a medium-sized resin printer. So let me grab the SD card, set up my DSLR with the resin laps so I can film it, and then we'll get to printing. Well, if you guys made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And this is a fun project, and I have a lot more videos to do, and I got some other resin I'm trying out from some other companies, and lots to come. So please share, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Check me out over on Twitch, as I was mentioning, at Jerry3DHP over on Twitch. I do a lot of live streams there. So thank you very much, everybody. Go out and buy some resin from Yousu. Print's really nice. So anyway, thank you very much, and happy resin printing.